What's up, everyone? Welcome back here for another video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to react to a YouTube video that was posted. I tried trading and it ruined my life. So let's take a look to see this guy's journey and what potentially went wrong to have trading ruin his entire life. I have been trading unprofitable for 3 years now. In that time span, I ruined my life. Here's my story and what you need to know about trading.
Alright. So as you saw in the last clip, that was me mentally breaking down. So in this video, I'm going to give you one thing that I learned over 3 years of unprofitable trading that you must know to succeed. I also share you my story, how I ended up in this situation, and also show you the video where I'm mentally breaking down so I could really drive the point home. So I want to start off by saying that if you're going to trade and if you want to pursue this, you have to do one thing, and that one thing that I didn't do for 3 years caused me so much pain, and that is to have rules. You need to follow rules no matter what. Follow them no matter what. And the reason for that is not to make money. The rules are not there to make money. The rules are there to protect you from doing self-harm to yourself, mentally and financially. Because you got to understand, trading is gambling. You're risking money to potentially make money. You know, you're taking on risk every single day. But trading is not like any other gambling endeavor. You know, in trading, there's freedom. There's freedom to get in when you want, get out when you want. No one's forcing you to stay in trades, right? You can trade whenever you want. It's not like where in blackjack you get dealt a hand, or poker you get dealt a hand and be like, okay, you get dealt a bad hand and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I don't want to play because I got dealt a bad hand. Well, in trading you can do that. You know, if you see you get into a trade and somehow you don't feel like it's a good trade, you can get out. No one's forcing you to stay in. It's also not like slots where you put in money and then you pull the lever and the max you could lose the amount of money you put in. In trading, you could lose your whole account on one trade, right? It's the freedom, it's in the space of that freedom in trading that gives you the biggest advantage, but also the greatest disadvantage, right? If you don't have any discipline, if you don't have the rules, you could really mess yourself up.
So first off, I really do like what this guy's saying. It seems like he really did learn his lesson, and I'm happy that he's putting it out there because there's going to be a lot of beginner traders who are going to fall into the same traps, and I see it all the time. Occasionally I scroll through Wall Street Bets and I see guys making the same mistakes over and over again. And it really is a mindset issue. It's really a mindset issue of trying to chase the dragon, trying to chase the gains, and not focusing on developing rules, developing a system, and following those rules for long-term success, compounding gains over time versus trying to get rich overnight, which 99.9% of the time, eventually, the discipline, since your discipline's not there, eventually you're going to blow your whole account. And that's what you're saying, in one trade, you can blow your entire account. And our rules are there to protect us from that side of ourselves that is not disciplined, our shadow self, our personality that can act out of just whatever it feels like in the moment, out of frustration, out of greed. And there's been so many times in my career where either I have a big winner or a big loser, and if I have a big loser and I hit max loss in one trade, I immediately, early in my career, I would immediately on instinct, a second later, triple my size, immediately just buy in at whatever price it was, no setup, just immediately buy in, triple size, and just pray to God that I make that loss back, because psychologically and emotionally I wanted to make myself feel whole, and I wasn't willing to feel those emotions, feel the loss of taking a bad trade and losing X amount of money. And similarly, on the opposite side, the greed, after having a huge trade, just getting overly aggressive and just buying the highs with triple the share size, and then eventually just losing whatever I just made and more. So yeah, following our rules is definitely there to protect us, and if we can follow our rules, stay disciplined, we can ensure success over the long term. But it looks like he said he ruined his life in 3 years. I do think that 3 years isn't necessarily enough time to really decide or recognize if you're a profitable trader or not. Sometimes it takes 5, 6, 7 years to be profitable. But again, like if you're gonna blow up your account, then yeah, it doesn't really matter. You won't ever be able to stay in the game long enough to be profitable if you blow up your account. So, but yeah, I mean, after 3 years, maybe that's not enough time to be profitable. Some people it's not. Some people learn slower. Some people learn faster. And even if you learn slower, it's still worth it. Even if it takes 5 years versus 3 years, heck, man, that's still worth it. It's still worth it. Anyways, let's keep going here.
I said trading is gambling, and if you don't control yourself, it can turn into an addiction, right? It's only 1 degree away from turning into a gambling addiction, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, the addiction, I definitely feel the addiction. I know probably a lot of you guys have felt this too. Is just sometimes it's hard to walk away. Sometimes it's hard to walk away. You're always like, gotta take one more trade. You gotta take one more trade, and then it always ends up being a loser. Eventually, you start giving money back, and then you start regretting it. But yeah, I mean, it definitely can dip into an addiction. I've definitely felt like I couldn't control myself a few times. So yeah, I mean, I think the addiction is sort of a double-edged sword, though. It in a way, like if you're not addicted to this, if you're not obsessed with this, it's really you're not gonna have that drive to be successful at this, because you need to withstand so much mental abuse in trading to be successful. And unless you're obsessed with it and addicted, I think eventually you'll give up before you get profitable, because it's just the mental abuse is so bad. It's worse than physical abuse. It's actually worse than physical abuse. Like the beginning of the learning curve is just sometimes so painful that I would rather be getting beaten than taking losses in the market and getting frustrated and feeling that I'm never gonna make it and never gonna figure out the strategy, and I'm constantly losing money. All this hard-earned money that I'm slaving away at a job to try to give myself a shot to make it. But yeah, it definitely can dip over into an addiction for sure, and that definitely needs to be managed. However, I do think that being obsessed is one of the key things that successful traders have.
So, like I said, the rules, you need to follow them, and they could be simple. They could be like, okay, I only take 3 to 5 trades a day, or I can only lose this amount of money in this day. And the rules should be based on extending your time in the market. That's what the rules should be based on, is having you stay in the market long enough so that you can create a profitable strategy and then work from there. A lot of people say
that's gold right there. What this guy just said was gold, absolute gold. Following your max loss and just ensuring that you're there for the next day. Every single day that you trade, ensuring that you're there to trade the next day for the long term.
Oh, start with the strategy first. Start with the strategy. Let me tell you this. If you don't have rules and you just follow astrology, you're not going to last long, right? And plus, the market's always changing. Strategies are always changing. The market, you always need to adapt your strategy. That always fluctuates, right? It's always going to fluctuate. Sometimes one thing works in one condition, next thing you know, it won't work in the other condition. It always fluctuates. The thing that's always static and should be static are your rules. So if you're a beginner trader, please follow your rules, because you're going to end up like me. And when I started trading, I got fully blown addicted to trading. And at first, it was just half my paycheck, I could still pay my bills, and I would lose the paycheck, half my paycheck, in the stock market, and then, still struggle. I would struggle to eat and buy food and gas, but I would still make it through the month.
That's tough.
So in the beginning of this year, I was not in debt. I was free. Had no debt at all.
Did this guy just say debt? I think it's pronounced debt, but I'm not quite sure now. I think this guy's saying debt. But yeah, let's go.
And so it went from at first risking half my paycheck, and then it went beyond to spending my whole paycheck. So now I'm falling behind on bills, and I'm spending my whole
If he's risking his paycheck, that means I think he's trading options, because there's no way if you have a cash account that you'll actually lose this money that fast if you're trading stocks with a cash account. Because usually like a bad loss in small caps is maybe 10% of your account, maybe 20 at most in one day. I guess it could be worse if you're really that bad, but yeah, usually, yeah, I think his guy had to have been trading options, because with options you can lose everything in one, and your option just expires worthless. You know, you buy an option contract, and then a day later, if it's zero DTE, 0 days till equity, or expiry, sorry, not equity, 0 days till expiry, you can, the next day the stock just, or the contract expires worthless, and you're out the entire money that you paid for it. So I think that's what this guy was doing, which is, you know, I never really got into options because of this, because of the tough ability to manage your risk. That's why I like stocks and buying shares, because I think it's more liquid, and I can kind of manage my risk a little bit better. And I also don't have to worry about time decay.
paycheck, losing it in the stock market. And at that point, it felt like that was rock bottom for me. Losing my paycheck felt like rock bottom. Eventually, that became normalized. You know, I would just do Uber on the weekends to pay my bills that I was falling behind. And it just became normal at that point to just lose a whole paycheck and just, you know, be okay with it.
Oh, man.
And so when that became normal, it got even worse. It went to, now I was taking out loans. I was getting in debt.
This sounds like a drug addiction. And it really is. This really can be similar to a drug addiction. I can totally see it. Especially once you start losing money, your instinct just to try to make it back, and you're trying and digging deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you start, you know, losing your paycheck, and then you start taking out loans. Not a good road. And I definitely, it sounds like you know, something out here in Alcoholics Anonymous, but it really is like this is one of those things that you can get lost in like that, and it can completely ruin your life. I can totally see it. But yeah, this guy was definitely doing options, definitely involved here in Wall Street Bets. Yeah, Wall Street Bets is not a good resource. But he never said anything about Wall Street Bets. I'm just making it up. But I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. It's not a good resource to do research and trade using that, because most of those guys end up blowing up.
Fund myself in the stock market, and I'm taking out risky loans. I'm talking 80+ interest rate.
Oh my God, that doesn't. I didn't even know that existed. 80% interest.
Yeah.
That is just absurd. Honestly, why would he sign up for that? If it, like, at that point, it's just, I just can't see myself getting to that point where I'm taking out an 80% interest rate loan to fund my trading. That is bonkers. That is just crazy. You know, I was definitely, earlier in my career, I definitely was adamant on never borrowing money, even from friends or family, to try to make this work. I wanted to fund it with my own money, because I didn't want to be responsible for anybody else's finances, and I didn't need that extra pressure as well. But yeah, taking out loans or credit cards for trading is not a good way to go. I definitely would advise funding it, you know, working 2 or 3 jobs in the beginning, maybe learning trading, working 2 or 3 jobs, and then saving that extra cash. Maybe save up 5 or 10K, and then work your way up to 25K, and then maybe you start trading with a cash account, and then fund it up to 25K, and then you start going. trading on the PDT account. But yeah, I would never take out any loans. No way, no way.
I was sometimes taking out a loan. I remember taking out a loan that was 400% interest
Bruh.
rate, you know? So I think I was paying
Bruh.
almost half of it within a week, and just interest alone.
Oh.
Yeah, I was taking out loans, and then it got even worse. I was calling friends and family for money. So it got even worse, and I was calling friends and family for money. I started selling some of my stuff to pay for my debts.
That's a good idea. Selling your stuff, if you're trying to fund an account, selling your stuff's a good idea.
My bills.
Just not stuff that you need, of course.
Long story short. Okay, so long story short, I went from having no debt to now owing being $14,000 in debt. Keep in mind, I work a minimum wage in California, so that's basically half.
Hey, minimum wage in California ain't that bad. It's got to be at least what, $15 an hour, 20. What is it, $20 an hour now? But of course, the cost of living is insane.
There, $14,000. I think I only make like $30,000 a year, and so that's my current situation now.
That's tough.
And it wasn't until this most recent month that it really, really hit me hard, and I mean, hit me really hard. I was really down bad. I actually was in the same situation 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I had enough money in my account to cover all my debt. And in that day, I lost it all.
No.
And I was so much emotional pain.
Bro.
Mental health institutes, friends and family, anyone I could call to relieve myself from the pain. I don't know if
this is what happens if you can't control yourself and make good decisions. If I'm at the point where I have to take out a loan, that's where I draw the line. I'll never go past that line where I'm taking out an 80% interest loan to fund my trading, and then asking friends and family, and then having that money, making that money to pay off the debt, and then losing it again.
You this, but I also masturbate. I would masturbate every time I lose.
Oh my God! What? What did he just say?
Or when I felt tense in the stock market to kind of, relax myself. But obviously that habit got carried over. Oh. And I would just, at that point, I was just masturbating every time I lost.
Oh, no.
And sometimes when I blew an account, I was masturbating like 20, 30 times a day. So I'm not proud of it.
20 times a day? Bro! I don't think I could even get past 2 or 3 times a day, to be honest. Doing it 20 times a day? Holy crap. This guy must have had some serious rug burn.
I had to, I didn't want to feel that pain. I didn't want to sit with reality because it was really painful to know I could have covered all my debt and I lost it all. So I remember 2 weeks ago, I was in max pain. I think I masturbated like 20 times a day. I was calling friends and family. Trying to seek some sort of, peace in my mind.
I'm sorry, but I have to laugh at that. It's just masturbating every time you lose. Dude, I have to try that. No, I'm not going to try that.
In emotional pain. And it got to the point where I was really desperate and I was really going through it. That I don't want to say that I'm not super religious, but I was crying in tears. I'm asking God to give me one more shot, give me one more try in the stock market. Let me show you that I'm patient and that I could, really go with this and not gamble. Funny enough, the day after, I got in the market again, I got a loan, and I made money. I was making money, I made money again, and I make money. The next day I'm making money, and it got to the point where you know, God actually gave me a second chance. He blessed me, and I had enough money to cover all my debt again.
Don't tell me you lost it.
Yesterday I lost it all.
No, what?
You know, so
dude, what are you doing? Bro, God gave you a handout. God gave you a blessing to get yourself out of this situation. And look what happened, man. Look what happened, dude. Oh, that's just terrible. That's just terrible.
I spit in God's face. He gave me a chance. He blessed me, and I lost it all yesterday. Same scenario.
Oh,
I was calling up people, friends, family, anyone. I was in tears, crying, you know.
Hey, man, you know what? If that happened to me, I think I'd be crying too, actually. I take back what I said earlier in the video. If this happened to me, yeah, I'd be in some deep, dark places.
I didn't deserve another chance. You know, I'm not going to cry to God again and ask for another chance. I felt like I didn't deserve a chance, right? Because, you know, I asked for him and I spit in his face. I feel like everything that's ever good that's happened to me has been God's fault, and everything that's bad that has happened has been my fault. And so that's why I'm making this video. Maybe my third chance is God's giving me a third chance, and that chance not making money, maybe helping you avoid the pain that I went through, and hopefully you learned something from this video that could help you avoid all this and prevent you from going into this dark path that I went through these last 3 years. So hopefully you learned something. I'm gonna show you the video where I break down mentally. I was kind of hesitant to show you this video because I don't like to portray myself like this, especially in a moment where I'm at my worst. But I feel like it will really drive the point home, and you take what I say seriously, because this could happen to you. So let's watch this video. Not proud of it, but hopefully you learned something. I lost all my money today in the stock market, everything. I took out loans, I lost that. I'm already in debt to begin with. I'm currently $10,000 in debt. Took out more loans. Now I'm currently $14,000 in debt. But the most hardest part of this is telling people, making promises to people, and then losing all that money that was supposed to fulfill those promises. I mean, look at this. This is my mom. It's me.
I feel it, man. I feel for this guy.
She gives me money all the time. I'm 25, went to college, didn't get a job, you know, kind of just 4 years just went by. My mom supported me, gave me money, thinking that I was gonna get a job. I'm now 25, working on a minimum wage job. I don't even know, like, I just think about my future and it just looks so dark. There's nothing much to it. I mean, I exhausted all my resources already. I don't know where to go from here. I really don't. If it just feels like I want to die. I'm not suicidal, but it feels like I feel like dying. Everyone I know I've let
Okay,
down.
I think this point, I think this moment, I can feel his emotions, so I understand where he's coming from. But when you do think, right now I'm in a rational mind, and he's in an emotional mind, so I can see that he's definitely overreacting here, for sure. He's only 25, I think what he said, he had 14,000 in debt. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. Heck, man, I'm like 70,000 in debt right now from college, and I'm not using my degree. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. He can definitely bounce back from this. He's 25. He's he's young as all heck, and he can still get a job if he wants to get a job. He can still even continue to trade and use this as a huge lesson moving forward. I'm sure by now he's come out the other end and learned the lessons from it, and kind of realized that, oh, yeah, I'm still 25. I'm only $14,000 in debt. It's actually not that bad, and I can make that back relatively quickly, even with a 9 to 5. Maybe there's some things that maybe he's got to cut costs in the near term, or maybe move back in with parents for a year. But he's still young, and he'll definitely bounce back. So I think what he's going through right now, what he's saying right now in this, like, I can see his mind is emotionally hijacked to where he's spiraling into the deep dark depths of his mind, staring into the abyss, questioning his life decisions and reality and his existence. So I completely get it. We get there. A lot of people get there to that point. So I think all of us have. But it always passes, for sure. It always passes. And those times, though, and those dark, these are like the character building moments of our life. And that trading brings us to this moment so many times too. It's like we get to this place more often than people at normal jobs, and I think it does build character a lot. We face our demons relatively often. We face our demons a lot, very often, and it kind of builds character. It builds humility, and yeah. So I think it's good for us. But going through it sucks for sure. It sucks. I mean, I just had one of these moments a few weeks ago, but it always passes, and you always learn from it. It's just best not to kind of overreact and try to stay rational.
Yeah. Just accept my fate. Accept that I won't be rich.
Yeah, this is all overreacting. He's 25. Right now, he's staring into the abyss. He's staring into the abyss. I completely see where he's at.
That I might just be 30 and still living with my mom.
And if you don't know what staring into the abyss means,
except that
it's a philosophical term
make her proud.
About existentialism. Wait, what did he say there?
Except that I probably won't ever make her proud. Oh my god. Where did I go wrong, guys? I don't know. My whole life I've been trying to make money. Been trying to do drop shipping, learn stocks, social media agency, you name it. I've done it.
Dude, I can relate to this guy.
With me being broker, I'm fulfilled. I hope this is a warning to anyone who's addicted to stock trading. Or maybe you're on the edge. I will say that just be careful. Be careful.
The crazy thing is, I've had these same thoughts that this guy had. Every single thought, making my family proud, trying to be rich, or making a lot of money, or trying to be successful or financially free. And I've been in those moments where it's like I feel like it's never gonna happen, and like everything that I've ever tried in my life I was a failure at, and I'll never make my parents proud, or never be successful at anything, and everything I tried was just, was like worthless, and I'm worthless, and this. I've had those thoughts, man. I've had those thoughts. I can totally relate to this guy. But at the end of the day, like, you get to the point where, well, I'm sure he's already accepted this, but like, you can either stay in this mindset and feel sorry for yourself and settle for something less, but that isn't the answer. Settling for something less is not the answer, because we're put on this earth, and I think it's our duty, it's our honor, it's our duty to go for our true heart's desire, and never to settle for something less. And if trading is truly his thing, and if trading is something that he really, really wants to pursue and wants to be successful at, even in these moments, like, you have to come through the other end, and you have to get back on the horse and go for it, because what else in life are you going to do? Like, are you just going to go to an office and sit in a chair knowing that your heart is telling you that you wanted to be a trader, and I gave up on it because it just got too hard? And for the rest of your life, you're going to be thinking about it and sitting in a chair making maybe 80,000, 100,000 a year in mediocrity, only getting 2 weeks of vacation or 3 weeks of vacation, raising your hand and asking your boss so you can go to the bathroom, while every minute of the day you're thinking about, what if I would have just kept going with trading, and that's what you truly want, and I'm only on this earth once, and why am I not going for what my true heart is calling for? That's sort of my mindset. That's something that keeps me going, even through these brutal times. Even still today, even after you're profitable, still you'll get to these deep, dark times. But it's important to be able to come out that other end stronger, new knowledge, and with a fresh perspective, and a reminder why you are continuing, why you started, and why you're continuing to be on this journey. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks to this guy posting on YouTube. His channel is called Abe's Trade. I will put his channel in the description. I just want to pay this guy a little bit of a shout out, because it's a great video, and not many people can do something like this. Not many people can put their emotions on the internet, the truth of what they're going through on the internet, and especially in trading. Trading is an industry where a lot of people are not showing what's really going on behind the scenes, and maybe only posting winners, or not, or maybe even having a fake account and trading in a fake account. A lot of people do that as well. So there's a lot of shady people, and it's good to have somebody who's true, raw, and authentic with their trading journey. So check out this guy's channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like on the way out. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.